Yeah, it will be unanimous.
I'd appreciate that, especially if being unanimous is tears. I'd appreciate the hell out of that. All right, we back. Okay, we back live. We're good.
Oh, we're back.
Yeah,
we're live.
Back. Okay,
Shit.
let me just make super quadruple sure.
Back, baby. We're back, baby.
Super back.
Refresh
All
this.
right, cool. Test. Just let this go for a little bit. Let it build. Let me just make sure. Let me go back to YouTube. I'll send you out the links for it too, since it's a fresh new link. Where is it? Live.
For sure.
All right, cool. Let me just make sure. Let me get a fresh new link popping. Yes, it is live. Okay, copy. 1 second. All right, let's get this popping. Yo, we back at it. Facts. What's your go-to plugins for depth? They ain't fucking around. They going straight to it. Like, yo, what's your depth plugin? Okay, cool. Everything is good.
Hello, what's the tatties? Let's see the up where we live, baby.
Yeah, we live now. Let me make sure Instagram is live. Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
If it happens,
We're back.
if it happens again, it's all good. If we gotta restart the stream, we restart the stream. But we gonna get through this, y'all. Real talk. As far as everything. But yeah. Let me just give it a second. Let me just let it pile up a little bit. It's already numbers is climbing. Let's just make sure we sturdy. Save.
Sturdy.
Make sure we sturdy. Let me look at Discord. Discord, what up? Flowman, please keep handing out the digital refreshments. We appreciate it. Please keep handing out those digital refreshments. Fellas, y'all can see my screen, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Y'all can see my screen, so we good on that. One sec. Let me just come back to it. Boom. Okay, we good on everything. So we good on everything. Just letting everybody come in. All right, cool. AL1, everybody was talking about it. Okay, recording. Yep, and we pretty good. This number's jumping. It's already about to be back up at 100. So,
we're back, baby.
Yep. So my screen is showing. So back to where we were obviously talking about. Obviously, I just, y'all were just talking about kind of how you're a big drum guy. Yep.
Yeah, no, we were talking about, okay, so I was talking about, the limiter thing.
Yeah.
Let's just jump back to where we were.
Sure.
So basically, I was telling Ohad, I was like, I need to find something that if I need to get that extra dB, it won't make fuck the mix up, right?
Right.
He's like, well, what you need is something that's going to retain the first thing to go, which is the low end and the transients and the punch. So he's like, I got this guy who's like a scientist. This motherfucker like built this thing, and it was literally like a white box with 2 knobs. And I was like, because it was Ohad and he's a mastering engineer, I feel like mastering engineers are people that I like kind of, once I know that they're fire, I'm gonna like lock in.
Right.
But I did it, and I was literally pushing it. I'm getting 3 dBs of reduction, 4 dBs of reduction, but it doesn't sound like what you would hear getting that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Like it felt like I was getting 1 dB of reduction in terms of like what it sounded like. It was retaining everything. It was just getting louder.
Right.
And I was like, holy shit, this is insane. So then I started to play with it more, and I realized like it was keeping a lot of the transients and low end that wasn't happening before.
Understood. So did you feel like it was like, I guess you could say, kind of like a very transparent kind of like limiter where it didn't feel like it was disrupting your balance and stuff like that so much?
Yeah, exactly. Because the first thing, once you start messing with the low end, the balance gets thrown off, right? Like now things sound too bright or too loud on the top end, and it's because you've adjusted or done something to the low end.
Right.
You'll notice that if you push a limiter on the master, like an L2 or something like that, you'll notice the first thing to get louder is the vocals, because as that low end is being taken down, the high end and the top end stuff are being naturally elevated because of that imbalance that's happening.
Right. Understood.
Gotcha. So that's kind of where my thing came in, and I've been using it ever since, and you can really hit it and abuse it, and it's pretty sturdy.
Would y'all say in y'all chain, is it like, because I think I'm not sure about your limiter, your mix bus, Prizzie, for the most part, but I know you use multiple. I know, I think both of y'all use multiple limiters. What stage of your limiting is it? Is it like the beginning limiter? Is it the finisher? Like what part of your limiting process is it?
It's always it's the finish, because
the
it's the one that when you're at the very end, when you're at your loudest, meaning at any moment you're gonna start collapsing those transients in the low end.
Right.
This is the one that comes to the rescue.
Got it.
This is the one that gets you that extra dB of loudness and doesn't do anything to the low end. If anything, everything gets enhanced and gets louder without that sort of degradation.
Right. Understood.
But I mean, if your workflow is not really like a 1 or 3 limiter type of workflow, you could abuse this thing. Like you can do 6 dB. You could do even more if you want.
Right.
I mean, you'll start to hear it maybe at like 7 or 8, but you got to think about how much is 7 or 8 dBs of gain reduction.
Right. At that point.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think it's great for like coming from the recording world, like being able to slap a limiter on and hit it because the artist is leaving, we're bouncing, we're that. It's just so much easier than like getting the artifacts and the loss of quality on the transients from like an L2 or something like that.
Got it.
So I think it works really well when you just need to push a mix and get it out the door for a rough for a client. It's really, really works well in that case too.
That's actually a really good point. The use case of this thing is there's at least 20 use cases, and one of them is you could put this in Unity and give it 2 dB, and you could record through it because it's almost no latency. So the decisions you're making in a recording session, at the end of it, you just hit the Unity button, the mix jumps up in level, but it's the same mix.
Right.
So you don't have to spend that extra hour trying to do a bunch of tweaks and do that like weird limiter game. You already did it.
Right.
You did it while working, like while recording.
Right.
So it's a time saver too.
Got you. Well, I had the chance to talk to him personally. He kind of walked me through it too, and we talked about things like stereo linking and all those things. And ironically, he gave us a lot of options that I felt like are super necessary, like within it, like as far as the lift function and stuff like that. I thought that was really cool to have, like within it and stuff like that, as well as giving me the transparency and things. Is there anything in particular that you like are really fond of with it? Like just one thing that you're really fond of with it?
Bro, please. The stereo linking section is the magic. That is the sauce. So the limiter itself, you could just turn up the input knob. It's gonna be super transparent, but it gets crazy when you hit that stereo linking button. It's right next to the threshold, right in the middle. If you want to hit that button, I don't know if you, that.
Right.
So what happens, let's say you have a song with drums, vocals, backgrounds, blah, blah, blah. When it starts to have information down the middle, like kick, snare, all that stuff, most limiters will collapse. We've all heard it. I'm not gonna say any names, but we all know the names. The song will start to do this, and then you have to start reaching for like wideners and stuff like that within your mix, which can also add another set of problems, right? The way this works is when the drums hit, the side parts actually get compensated, and it almost gets like wider. So it's like a dynamic imager in a way. That's the only way that's the best way I can explain kind of the term that I hear to my ear is the song doesn't collapse, it actually expands when the drums hit. So now, you know, I'm a big like background vocal guy. So now my backgrounds, instead of just staying here or doing this, when the drums hit, they're doing this. They're like bouncing, but they're doing it in rhythm with the drums. There's a threshold, so it's kind of like a detector.
Yeah. I was actually telling him I was working on a record earlier today where it's got a big 808, a big kick, and they were the type where it's like kick dominant. So that means like the kick is really punchy. It's not just the 808. And every time it hits, you know, the limiter, all these things kind of, you know, squeeze a bit, and you lose a little bit of that side because I have these backgrounds that are panned hard left and right. And you would hear it's very subtle, but you hear like kind of as the kick hits, the attention goes more towards the middle and it gets lost off the sides a bit. And when I was messing with this and, you know, exaggerating it a bit, I was noticing that like really exaggerated, you can tell like when the kick hits, it sounds like the backgrounds almost get louder for a moment just to like compensate for the fact, and that's over exaggerated just to like really hear it. But those are things that you can subtly do. So you can, it's a feeling thing at the end of the day. But if you exaggerate it, you can really start to hear it.
You know what's so funny y'all mentioned that? I like that y'all mentioned that because in the back of my mind, that's like my biggest problem or issue with limiters today, where I'll get loudness and I'll get a lot of feedback, which you may notice today when people send feedback, where they'll limit something so much that I'm like, yo, your image it feels so much smaller, especially in the backgrounds and stuff like that. When you think it's getting louder, but it's like but the whole image it's just getting smaller and smaller and smaller and more compact. So I'm glad that you mentioned that because that's something that I feel like a lot of limiters do that I run into too, like where I'm like, it kind of collapses the mix, and that's where I get really picky with limiters and stuff like that. So that's how I'm just glad y'all kind of brought that up for anybody. So
that's great.
Before we get to any question, hey, Ohad in the building. Shout out Ohad, your guy. I got Ohad in the building. Shout out my guy Ohad. He said, "What up, gang?" Ohad in the building. Y'all know he mastered a bunch of stuff. He's in our Discord. Y'all know Ohad so super well. So I want to get into some feedback because I know a lot of people are dying for y'all to hear music. Again, if you are, if anything happens and technical difficulties happens on the stream, all good. Everybody breathe. We'll just restart. We'll get through this. That's always our plan. If anything happens, everybody will take it easy, but we're gonna get through this and we're gonna make sure that, you know, some of my members get this feedback, and that's it. Shout out again to Natural Audio for sponsoring this. And also, I'm looking at comment sections, and everybody right now, the 2 most active people, of course, in the Discord, in our members, we're gonna give away 2 of the AL1 natural limiters to our members. So this is for members again. So 1 lucky person that becomes a member today, we're gonna give you the AL1 natural limiter today. So make sure if you do want to become a member, go to thehmdcircle.com, and Anya's watching that. So 1 new member today, we are going to actually give you that natural audio limiter. All right, so let's get to this first one. Our mods are in the chat. The chats are all over the place. Shout out Searless, I see you. Delicia, I got you. Delicia, what's your name? What's your song name? She says she's number 54, so give me 2 seconds, fellas. Let me just pull up the actual feedback for this young lady, and let me pull this up, and then we'll get to this feedback. All right, cool.
Are we giving mix or
mix
or limiter feedback?
Mix limiter feedback. So definitely mix feedback. So let me just download this young lady's record, and this is what she said. So this is one of our members, Delicia. She actually won a contest to be first for y'all in the membership. So shout out Delicia. She won a contest to be first. She said, honestly, the bass concerns me. I'm trying to figure out how to mix a track with the bass as the solo starter and keep it consistent. Any mixing advice on this song will help tremendously. I have another track as well that starts with the bass, and when I go put a master on it, the bass is very low. So I'm not sure how to get the overall LUFS to -8. I'm still very new to this, LOL. So that's what she said, and we're gonna play the record, and let's gonna get this young lady some feedback. All right, 1 sec. Putting this in the sesh.
Yo, I'm gonna put my I need to put it on the computer. So I'm gonna join with my studio computer so I can hear the audio.
Okay, gotcha. If it blacks out, just for everybody, if it blacks out, which I think it will, can you do it after this one, Teezio?
Yeah. Huh?
So after I play this and stuff like that and get this one feedback, can you switch then, just in case it? Yeah. Okay, cool. I gotcha. I see Prizzie doing something. Okay, I'm gonna play this. This is Delicia's song. Let's take a listen to it. Let's get an idea what it sounds like.
People player with no focus, pressing the one in the room, that's a piece just like you. I can see you going through the process, thinking you're smooth like a saying, baby, I ain't gon' fight it. Be specific, baby, cause I like it. Diamond man for the one, you a fun type of sin. 6 foot 200 like a tight end. No chocolate light with your hands, guess you know you got a chance for now. All these other girls can't see, but I see it well. Ain't no shot in your game when you want it. I don't wanna play your games, but I might indulge. Ain't no need to be confused, you want. I can love you, but that don't mean you're mine. So I don't get comfortable knowing you just wanna have a good time. So I let you play your role, cause I know you're up to something. And I see you the way you move. I know love is the other discussion. I can love you, but that don't mean you're mine. So I don't get comfortable knowing you just wanna have a good time. So I let you play your role.
All right, fellas, he's gonna get us some feedback. What did you hear with that one? Let her know.
Yep. You want to go first?
Prizzie, can you do me a favor? Can you bring your camera, whatever your camera is, down, like more, or up, right, exactly, more up, so I can see more of your face and stuff like that. Because we had a little change in between just now. I see.
Yeah. 1 second. Sorry, I just got my
Got you, no
stuff on the
doubt.
charger.
There
Fact,
we
let me
go.
just
Yes,
hold it.
keep that orientation for me so I can, because it's
I'm gonna just hold it.
yeah.
Yeah.
My bad.
For sure.
Okay.
So yeah, it sounds good. I like it. I like the beat. I don't know if it's stems 2-track. Um, I would say I'll just address vocals. Let's assume that it's a 2-track. For me, I think it sits well volume wise, but I want to hear a little more control tonally. The best thing I would recommend for that is like some type of multi-band, like the MC 404, the DSP, could even be the old Waves C4, C6, just something to kind of hold it in place and kind of make a point of focus with your tone. And then I would just like to hear some air up top, and that could be slate fresh air, it can be an exciter. You know, I'm a Pultec fanboy.
I was just gonna ask. I was like, you still using the Pultec?
Yeah. Uh-huh. That's like 90% of my sound to me. But yeah, just use that and then EQ out the stuff you don't want. I'll let Teezio speak about the beat. I'm sure he has notes on the beat.
Yeah, I felt, and I don't know if, again, I was asking about maybe the audio, but it was definitely felt everything felt very tight. The kick wasn't punching very hard. I felt like the vocals were almost too on top of the entire track. And on top of it, and again, it could have been, I don't know if it's the signal, but it felt like the vocals were very harsh and kind of essy at the top. So I think it's a balance thing. And there's something that's squeezing way too much. Like, I don't know if it's a volume thing, like maybe the kick is too loud, or if you just have like something on the bus that's squeezing everything really tight, but it felt very flat. So I think it's worth just like kind of trying to rebalance it and starting with like getting your drums and your bass going first and getting that hitting in a way where you're happy with it, and then bringing in the other elements after, because everything is built on top of the drums. You know, like when you build a record, it's all built on top of it. It's almost serves as the foundation for the song. And I think right now, essentially, we have a bad foundation that needs to be adjusted so that the top can then be adjusted as well.
Type?
In other words, he's saying try the AL1.
Long story. I agree. Shout out One Shot Max at I agree, Teezio. And then I know we got some questions to hear. So somebody actually had a question about the AL1 limiter. Ironically, they said for the AL1, was that answered? There's no EQ curve on it, right? That's why I stopped using another plugin. He said master plan. Is there a EQ curve or anything like that you notice? Oh, basically, I know what they're asking. Basically, when you put the limiter on, do you notice anything as soon as you put it on? Like no settings, just straight up like
zero.
No,
it's flat. I mean, yeah. I literally, when I have it on at the end of my chain, and if you were to A/B it on and off, you wouldn't hear any difference.
Right.
So that's really important. I feel like there's a time when you want something to do something as soon as you put it on, but most of the time you don't. You really want to just like open it and then start doing what you opened it for, right? Like whatever purpose you're using it for.
Right. Ironically, some shout out Andrew is in the building. Shout out Andrew over at Natural. He literally said
scientist.
Yeah. He said no EQ. He said there's no EQ and nothing like that. So just to answer your question, yeah, he said no EQ at all and stuff like that. Also, Ryan, can you do me a favor? Can you drop the link to the website in the chat? I'm pretty sure people just want to check it out and stuff. So please drop the link to the chat. Drop the link in the chat for the actual natural audio limiter. And again, 2 lucky people are gonna win this thing that we're gonna pick member wise. I'm looking at our memberships right now. One person that becomes a new member today is gonna win it, and then one of our actual members is gonna win it. So I'm watching at the end of the stream. One of y'all is gonna win the limiter as far as a new member, and then one of our OG members is going to win it as well. So keep that in mind. Gotcha. Y'all ready for the next one?
Yes, sir.
Cool beans.
Let's get it.
All right, let's get it. So I'll go back to this first one. So this next one is called Calm Down. This is from someone named Mace. He didn't say anything specific. Anytime someone doesn't really say specifically what they want, general feedback is probably what they're looking for. So let's just download it.
Oh.
And this is one of our members. Shout out all of our members. Members, I'm also in the Discord. I'm laughing at your gifts. I see Ohad's laughing too. I seen the Homer Simpson thing that y'all put. Hilarious. Keep it going. Keep engaging. And yeah, let's take a listen to this right quick. So I'm gonna put this over here. All right. So let's take a listen to this. This is Mace, one of our members. Let's hear it out. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my God. So hold on. I have to give you a backstory in this. So I give stems in my membership, and one of my members, I think they mixed. I give like raw stems, and they mix one of my songs. Hilarious. Go ahead. I'm just letting you know.
Genius. I'm not gonna lie.
Here we go.
At least you know the source material.
Yeah, right. I'm mad though, because I'm just like, that was sneaky. That was real sneaky one of our members. Shout out our members, man. Good one.
I like that though.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
That's
All right. Let's take a listen.
Because then you can hear it too.
Right. All right.
Oh, yeah. I am a feeling. Listen. I never wanna see you with somebody. I never wanna hear about your name. I never wanna feel my bed without you. Everybody want what they can't taste. The scent of your perfume on my sheets. You're stimulating every sense of me. I'm doing everything just to keep you. You're the only one I see. But I know right now that your love ain't free. Know that you can do better than me. You're the only one I can see to make me better. But I know right now that your love ain't free. I know that you can do better than me. But you the only one I can see to make me better. So baby, calm down, to my level, baby, calm down. Wanna love you, baby, calm down. Only one that can make me better. Oh baby, calm down, to my level, baby, calm down. Wanna love you, baby, calm down. The only one that can make me better. I know it's on the come.
All right, fellas, and what you consider as far as that mix and stuff like that? Yeah.
That song is fire. I don't know what they talking
That
about.
song's fire. You need to be a big ass artist.
Hey, block him.
All right, hold on. So the mix was actually not bad, especially in the beginning. Like I was feeling like things were on a good roll. Things were on a good roll. The vocals a little bit, not enough mid range. I feel like it's missing a little mid range, and it's got some parts that the S's are very sibilly and top endy in a couple places, which I would spot do those with an audio suite or some DS audio suite or something just in the moments. The clap felt a little bit harsh when it came in. It started to feel like it was maybe sitting right next to the singer, and it should be a little tighter, a little less out of the way in the frequencies of the vocal, especially because the vocal was sort of lacking a little bit of mid range, and the clap had a lot of mid range, that like 2K to 4K area. So I felt like the clap was popping through, but the vocal was staying a little bit stagnant. And then when we got to the bass, that's where I think things started to take a little bit of a turn. There was the low end and the kick felt like they were just like a tiny little remote, just like very small. And it felt like there just wasn't any impact. And I'm assuming that's probably coming from maybe there's like a limiter or some sort of compression happening on the bass and drums, or maybe it didn't sound like it was on the entire song. I'm going to be honest. It sounded like, because the vocals would have been caught up in that sort of tightness that you heard from the limiter from the kick and the bass. If that tightness was occurring, the vocals would have been fucked. So I think that this is happening somewhere on a bus, a drum bus or a bass and drum bus, where everything is just getting super squashed. And then there's no hit. I was waiting for that impact when it came in, and it didn't really come in. But that's like my overall general notes.
Right.
Yeah.
For that.
Yep. Prizzie, for you?
I think my notes are almost the same. With the vocals, there needs to be some type of mid-range like magic there, because I like your performance a lot. Obviously, again, not to spam the pull tech thing, but that you could use Spectre, you can use any type of EQ that's going to bring out kind of the chestiness in your voice, like that mid-range glow. And I think Teezio's right with the snare, especially a genre like this. They have to live together. The snare can't really overpower you, because when you turn it all the way up, it's going to make you want to turn it back down. And the goal for stuff like this is you want to get max volume, and it's like euphoric, not like every time the snare hits you, like getting punched in the face. Like, so if anything, maybe just take a little more time and do a loud test with fresh ears. And maybe it's a notch thing. Maybe it's a dipping certain frequencies type of thing. It could be a resonant thing. I didn't really hear that too much. With the top end of the vocals, you can DS. You could like draw those vocals down, or you could just passively EQ and attenuate from the top end, or a little bit of both, and you'll probably find a good balance. And then, yeah, the biggest issue was with the bass. When the hook came in, it didn't feel like the hook. It just felt like another verse, like an alternate verse. So something's clamping that. It could be something on a bus level. You can also just raise the volume of the song too, just 0.5 dB. You can exaggerate one of the sounds on the hook to make it feel like, okay, now we're in the hook. Even if it's just one sound, you could chop that, duplicate it, and put like a Dimension D or a doubler or something on like a really low setting, just so the song feels like it's transitioning to another, like a scene change.
Right. Understood. Ironically,
yeah.
People going, I see all of your questions in the chat. Again, chat, drop your questions here. I'll make sure we ask the guys and the fellas and stuff like that. Almost 300 people in here live right now. One thing I want to point out that you brought up, Prizzie, you brought up like that mid-range glow, right? In my head, obviously it's my own song, so hearing y'all mix notes, I'm like, yes, especially when the bass came in, I was just like, like it kind of missed the mark on that bass. What would you do to get that mid-range glow that you're referring to, as far as like that density in the mid-range of the vocal and stuff like that? Like, what would you do? I heard you say Spectre. Would you go more for the harmonic distortion? I want to know for both of y'all. Would you go for like what would you do for that?
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna be honest, I think he's cutting it. I think he's cutting.
Yeah, it sounds like it's already there. Usually, like, it sounds like a good recording, so it's probably already there, and maybe he started notching stuff or cutting stuff out. I think the main thing is, like, just to get out of the technical world, your first few listens has to be like an A&R, and you got to be like, what's gonna sell this song? Right. And if the vocal is gonna sell it, then nothing. Like, it's Diana Ross and the Supremes. If the vocal is the Diana Ross, that's what people are paying to see. The Supremes are supposed to support that. So if the vocal is the magic, build your whole world around that magic. Usually it's the vocals and the drums, and if those fall flat, the audience leaves.
Got it. Understood. Yeah. All right. So that was some feedback. Thank you so much, Mace, for bringing that. Ironically, hilarious. Shout out to y'all, obviously using the stems. Yes, if you're a member, we give stems, like really, like obviously raw stems every single month. We have some new stems that we're going to be dropping, I think, in another week. It's going to be a ballad, like a more of a pop ballad and stuff like that. But yeah, use them to practice. They're free for our members. We're going to keep loading that up and stuff like that. You get a lot of stuff within that. And also, welcome to all the new members that we have right now coming in and stuff like that. And yeah, I hope you're enjoying yourself. Again, like I said, almost at about 300 people in here. We're going to keep this feedback going. This is only for our members. So if you want to become a member, you can go to thehmdcircle.com. And this stream is sponsored by the good folks at Natural Audio. Shout out Natural Audio again for making this possible. And of course, big shout out to Teezio and Prizzie for giving us their time and their advice. Let's keep it going. I'm dead. The chat is dead. Okay, cool. Let's go to the next song. I'm going to load it up for you guys. And one second, I'm gonna make sure I just don't skip anybody, because boy, do they get mad if I skip them. All right, here we go. So this next song is from one of our members. His name is Sean White. Sean White said, song I recently mixed, 2-track instrumental. Kick was giving me some trouble, but in the main, my aim was to focus on the vocal. Appreciate any feedback on the mix. All right, Sean, we got you. So we're downloading this. Shout out Sai, shout out Low Beach, shout out Yashawn, shout out Welfare. I see all of y'all. I know y'all want shout outs. I know y'all want I know. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all being here, for real. Every single one of y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here and supporting this entire stream right now. I hope you're having a good time. Sure. Word. All right, cool. So let's take a listen to this. Let's see what we got. And yeah, let's go from there. Here we go.
Sean White was a legendary snowboarder.
Right.
What's the story of what's happening? Everybody wants a hand, but no one wants to grab it. Flows kept tight just like I'm strolling with a ratchet. Late night spliffs, it put a hole in my jacket. But no, when I rap this, lungs couldn't hack it. So I rap till I've a cracked rib. Catch your breath, eyes red, just like I had a fat spliff. Man, I was a fat kid. Money in the mattress, telling nobody jack shit. I was smoking plenty joints, still I was a clever boy. I tell you what, I tell a lie. It made me not socialise, made me feel my vocal died. I shred all the fat though. Packs every day off a cushy or batto. Learn from your mistakes, I'm still learning. Heavy tackle, used to fish for a bag full, now we fish for some mackerel. But one thing I've learned is that this life is just a scandal. You can't live by the rules, you really need to gamble. We live to work and we work to live, and I can't wait for the day when I can give that shit up. I go fill a nice cup and drink every last sup. I've put so much in, I really need to empty some. I can't quench me thirst, I hate fighting with me man, cause damn, That's really family first. I need to stack her purse, get her a big black bus for whenever the woman wanna go shopping and stuff. Hey look, I try stay sharp like a Stanley blade. Yeah, they say I spit fire, where's the fire brigade? And I've got something on, John, you know I can't be late. I need to smash the whole scene and go and make a break. You can't be in no kitchens twitching off the Ricky Lake. I used to have a giggle off a bit of haze, start thinking I was magic, doing shit like David Blaine. But now I bring a stormy cloud, I'm gonna make it rain. Escape the pain with a paper plane. They really...
All right, fellas, how we feel about that one?
Okay.
The song was hard. He was spitting for sure.
Okay, Sean White.
Sean White, shout out Sean White.
Okay.
You mean Sean White?
Sean White.
Yeah, come on, bro.
Yeah, word.
Wait. Question before we jump in.
Course.
It was like, was there a little bit of phaziness that was happening, or was that just my headphones?
You might
AirPods.
You might have been hearing it. Oh, you want me to play it one more time just for shits and giggles? Like a little bit of it?
No, you don't have to play it again. I just want to know if I was hearing it on the vocal, it sounded like there was
something was there, but maybe point it out to us.
Okay, I was just making sure it wasn't my headphones.
Devon got a doubler on the master.
Yo, hold on. Oh, no, I'm making sure. I was like, wait, let me make sure I ain't got nothing on the master.
Checking. That motherfucker was checking, bro.
Yeah, OD.
Go ahead, Prizzie.
All right, so I rock with it. I think the levels were good. I want to hear a little more top end in the vocals, like a little more kind of crispiness. Like, not to get too conceptual, but when you have a song, I look at it kind of like being an interior designer and what kind of house are you selling? And with this, because there's not much happening in the top end of the beat, you can decide where the vocals sit, and that sets the ceiling, like the high-end ceiling of the song. And right now, the vocals seem kind of mid-rangey. I would like to hear a little more out of that, just to gain that diction, especially from a phone. And then also, I just want to hear more depth with like reverbs, like play with throws, play with pre-delay, just something to kind of put it in a space, because right now, it just seems a little separated from the beat. But other than that, it's jamming.
Tight. Oha did bring up Teezio. He said he heard it too. He said he heard a little phaziness.
Yeah, so from my end, like that's why I think something's wrong, because my notes are actually different than Prizzie's. I'm like, the vocals sounded kind of like they were missing some bottom, especially with that UK shit where like you can almost feel the husk in their voice. And it felt too bright and like not enough lows and a little bit harsh. So I don't know if it's the way I'm hearing it or if Prizzie's hearing it, but I'm seeing in the chat that people are saying it's a little bit phasy.
Yeah. Sean, did you have anything on? Did you do any like parallel processes? Too much doubler, parallel, like just let us know, Sean, if that was. But could you continue
on that delay compensation, big dog?
Yeah, that too. Also, so I brought it up to him, but yeah, you can go continue, Teezio. I brought it up to him. Let's see what he said.
Yeah, no. Other than that, I mean, it didn't have a. I mean, I was seeing your meters. It was reading what, -11, -12.
Yeah, like minus. Yeah, like
so
minus
it's like
10 peak.
For how small the kick and drums and bass sounded, you weren't loud. Like I would expect a record that had that sort of collapse of kick and low end to be at -6. You know what I mean?
I get you.
But I also didn't feel that it was pushed, so that's why I was like, it's got to be low. It just feels like there's nothing pushing, and it's like at -12, you should literally be able to turn up the kick 2 dBs and not see anything happening on your limiter if the gain staging is happening right.
Sure. Okay.
So and this is another thing I really want to talk about with this shit is like, in my opinion, a lot of people have their studios not flat, meaning like he might have a big ass sub in there, and to him the record is banging.
Right.
You know, and so that's one thing we have to realize is like we have to come to a common ground where we feel like, okay, where's sort of like an even playing field where we can kind of make an assumption about something or have an opinion, right? I feel like Apple headphones, everyone's got a pair of Apple headphones, so it's like that seems like a pretty good place for us to like check mixes to see how the rest of people are going to hear it. I have this conversation with people all the time. I'm like, it might sound amazing in my room, but if I hear something that I don't like in the headphones, I'm going to make the change.
Right.
If I hear something in the car, I'm going to make the change, because the studio doesn't matter to me. Who's going to hear it in my room? No one, just me. Right. So with something like this, I feel like sometimes people have studios where the tune of it is just like tons of low end for banging, but what happens? You have all this low end that's not really there. So when you bounce it and send it off, all of a sudden there's no low end because you were heightening the low end in the room so much. So that's another thing you have to be careful with, is maybe to him it sounded like it was hitting. You know what I mean?
Right.
In his room, he was making it out the hood.
It was, yeah, exactly. And because the low end was sitting so hard, that caused the top end to not feel so bright and overpowering because the balance of the low end was there.
Got it. Understood. Makes a lot of sense. Sean, I hope that makes sense. I'm looking in the chat, obviously. He'll probably see this later because I know he has like I think he's obviously overseas, so I think he has like a 6-hour time difference, but he'll see this later and stuff like that. Also, members will be the ones that will be able to see this playback and stuff like that, and that's it. But yeah, great. Thanks for bringing that through, Sean. I'm seeing new members coming in. So to all my new members, I'm looking, Anya is looking, and we're gonna pick one of you new members to win the AL1 natural limiter. And I tell you what, I'll throw a little caveat in there. One of our new members, whoever, like one of our new members today, I'll push you to the front of the line to get feedback from Teezio and Prizzie. One. So one new member, I'll push you to the front of the line to get feedback from these two gentlemen. Just let you know.
VIP.
Yeah, word. All right, cool. All right, so let me pull up the next one. You said something, Prizzie? My bad.
I was saying VIP.
Oh, VIP.
Somebody getting to the front of the line.
Pretty much. Right, exactly. Okay, cool. So this is the next person. The next person is Caleb Jeffries, obviously one of our members. He said, very much a work in progress. I think I need to add some harmonies in a few spots. Thankful for any and all feedback. So, bet it up. Let me download that right quick. Let's see what it is. And also make sure you drop in your questions in here as well. Like, please let me know if there's any questions that you wanted to ask. Somebody actually asked earlier for the mid-range conversation that we had. They were like, do you believe that silk vocal from Waves is a good way to create that, or is there a simpler way to do it? I feel like people are just jumping to a plugin, but it's like, do you think there's a simpler way to achieve what, that mid-range that you were talking about?
They're trying to set me up with the silk vocal question. I'm gonna give you a Yoda type answer because everybody that I've ever looked up to engineering wise never gave me a straight up answer, more of a philosophy. Build the song around it. If you have to, reference and isolate that part. So for instance, you can use like metric AB and just turn on the mid-range band. You just gotta learn how to use your ears. Like there's no magic bullet. Just time, experience, and then just ruining stuff. The more mixes that come out into the world, the more data you have to make those changes. And be like, oh damn, my mid-range is always like this. My vocals are always like this. That's like a super advantage every mixer has, is we have data basically every Friday to like calibrate and adjust.
So true.
Yeah.
Shout out. And also, I want to give a quick shout out to Mousequake in the building, absolute legend in the building. I just see Mousequake is in here just commenting and stuff like that. So shout out Mousequake in the building. It's just good to see you, bro. And yeah, we can go to the next song. Let's take a listen and let's see what we got. All right, here we go.
Take you out, I'll do anything. Give me one more chance just to make it right. Tonight. Let me take it slow to get my bearings. Need this to be perfect, so just bear with me. Set the stage already, don't leave me lonely. And I'll be good to you, baby, for the rest of my days. I'll just keep pushing. I'll work till I re-earn your trust. Give this thing purpose. I'll do every little thing just to prove that I can love. Prove that I can love. Isn't that enough? Ooh, I won't ask for much.
All right, fellas, and how you feel about that one? Let's give them some feedback.
Okay. Teezio, go ahead.
Okay, so we're so low. It's insane how low we are. And for being low, it also felt like we didn't have any dynamics at the same time. I'm starting to see sort of a pattern. And the pattern is way too much control or compression across everything for not being very loud. That's what I'm starting to see very common. It's like people are over compressing and overdoing everything so much that they get to the point where it's like you haven't even gotten loud and we've already done all this compression, right? I think focus. Okay, so a couple things that I was hearing besides it just not being loud. It was almost felt like I basically had a mix where I turned everything off and it went down in volume to like the raw level of stuff. There was clear and there was some clarity to things, but I felt like the snare was a little loud in comparison to the vocal and a little bright. It just kind of got in the way. Vocally, I think there wasn't a lot of excitement on the vocal. But just overall, I think before we even get to any of that, it's like, what is going on? What is the theme here where it's like all these records are coming out so compressed and not loud at all? You know, like the other one was at like -12. This one was hitting -22 for a second until the drums came in and then it got down to -16. Right. It's like I'm starting my mixes at -16. Right, like I'm bringing the level of my stuff there to start to push up and get louder.
Right, right. And this is something common that comes across. That's why I'm glad you guys are here, kind of giving that feedback.
Yeah.
This is 100%. Something that a thousand times, always kind of comes up where it's something that just feels really, really small and not so dynamic at all. And the main thing we'll kind of come to a synopsis with them is, hey guys, go back and rebalance the mix. Nope, not even a plug-in or anything. I'm just like, yo guys, go back and just rebalance the mix and stuff like that. Yeah, so that was great. We actually had a question. Also, Prizzie, we have digital refreshments here in our Discord. Like the members make digital refreshments. They made some H&D Prizzie's fortune cookies. I don't know if you can see it right now.
Fortune cookies.
They made some Prizzie fortune cookies. I don't know if
I'll
you can
take
see
those.
Make me some damn edibles or some shit.
Yo, make Teezio something right quick. Give us something for Teezio. Don't worry, they're gonna make something.
Good luck is the perfect phrase because
sorry. One very important thing here, because I'm seeing a comment here that's like, we gotta get this out. What is the best loves you want to target since Spotify requires -14? That is probably where this theme is coming from. People are reading so much fucking information online that they are basically spun around into like a circle, and to the point where it's like the fact that someone is saying like, wait, don't we need to deliver at -14s for Spotify? That is, you're just reading too much. When I'm delivering a mix, I'm as loud as I can get, hopefully as loud as the demo, if not louder than the demo. Like, first of all, a client's not going to approve it. At this level, a client will not approve a mix that's way lower than what they gave you, right? So if their mix is at -7, you better be at -7 or -6.8.
-6.9, yeah.
-6.9. You should always be loud in the demo, because guess what? When you say, oh no, I want to have more dynamics and I have to be lower, cool. Now you drop down to -9, and guess what? The mix feels completely different. Gotcha. Yes, what you did was correct by the standards of what an engineer might do, but guess what? That feeling of everything being slammed in your face is gone. So if they created the record with that feeling and you take that feeling away, where are we left, right? I think the intention is always follow the damn demo. Now, in these cases, these are people who are mixing stuff for a friend or for someone who may not even be thinking about how loud something is. They might, you know what I mean? But at this level, people want loudness. And I feel like y'all need to be starting the kick and the snare, from my perspective, bringing in the kick and being at -16 and building from there, squeezing the drums, boosting, getting louder, bring the bass in, compress, boost, get louder. Like, you should be hitting -8, depending on the record, obviously, -8, -7 without the vocals in yet. And because the vocals need to come in basically when you're pretty much at the end, when you're not going to be pushing anything harder limit wise and stuff like that.
Yeah, I actually saw you do this on your Victoria Monet On My Mama mix. That's where I saw you get that, like, where I kind of picked that up from you and saw that, where you basically, you obviously did your drums, but you also squeezed some dynamics out of the drums in order to get them louder.
In order to get louder, and make sure I still have headroom.
Right. Which inherently lets your limiter at the end work less because you already squeezed and got that stuff out. That was a real big shift mentally for me. Like that like obviously seeing that. You can go watch the video also, y'all. Victoria Monet On My Mama. It's up on YouTube, which is a crime that it's just up. just there for anybody to watch. But it's amazing, and it's a plethora of information there as well. I know Prizzie has a ton of content out there too that's just up for people to watch, and just him. He has a really fascinating 808 trick that I'll bring up later that I seen Prizzie do one time and stuff like that. Jordan, I have one of our members, Jordan Pass. He actually had a question for you, Teezio. He said, Teezio, you replace your Shadow Hills with the Oracle in the mix bus, so you mentioned that on Mix with the Masters.
Oh, with the Orion.
Got it. Oh, with
the reason was this is the main reason behind this shit. Putting a limiter, putting a compressor / limiter like a what's it called? Like a Shadow Hills. I think the Shadow Hills is not like a regular limiter. It has more of a bounce to it. It's got like, it's like a real opto style compressor. What I noticed was that is the first thing that will stop you from getting loud. The second the drums start hitting that, it's pumping the entire mix. And I needed to find things that were more, for lack of a better use, like solid state, meaning like I wasn't gonna get this sort of like pumping and shit. I needed something that was gonna be clippers, things that are gonna reduce dynamics without feeling like it's pumping, because the first thing to happen is that 808 hits and the vocals start ducking. And that's one of the things that that shows like things aren't properly balanced, right? Like something's going on with the master bus where every time the 808's in, the snare's low, the hats are low, the vocals are low, and then the 808 stops and everything gets loud. And so I needed to find things to get rid of that pumping, because clients would be like, hey, it just feels like it's pumping a little. So, and everything, as all of us are still learning, I feel like you're never the master of anything, because every day I'm still learning. So at that time I was like, okay, let me get rid of that and put a clipper. And at the time I had gotten, I think the gold clip had just come out or something like that from Ryan. But yeah, I was starting to just, adjust my stuff and make it work for what I needed. And the Orion does a level of compression that's very transparent, and I do very little, 10%. And I X everything out. So everything is turned off except that compressor mode that's like the third on sign. And I basically will do like 10%, and they'll show me like a little bit of reduction, and that'll prep it to hit my first limiter. Because what happens is things are going to hit this a little too dynamic, and it'll cause my first limiter, which is the God particle, to overreact. So I want to almost do one last control and then hit the God particle, and I'll get 2 dBs of boost on the God particle with about 0.5 or 0.6 dBs of reduction, maybe a dB of reduction on there. But all of this is prepping it. You're packaging and prepping this to reach that final destination.
Right. And Prizzie, for you, as far as loudness and just as far as dynamics is concerned, for you, what is kind of your thing, especially in a drum bus sense, right? Like, or like, what's kind of your process like for that?
Similar process. I mean, that's kind of the typical way to get loud, is just kind of shave step by step. And you kind of have like soldiers on the front line, and every wave of soldiers is just taking damage. But the goal is to get louder. So the final boss, the final limiter, doesn't have to like take on 8 dB of limiting or anything like that.
It's like the mafia. It's like the mafia.
Exactly. Like you got to go through so many people to get to the big boss, that type of thing. But yeah, I mean, with this type of mix, it shouldn't feel small and be low in level. The goal is, if you've ever worked with, especially rappers, a lot of times they don't know terminology. So they're going to say something that's so basic but so profound that's like, bro, I want my shit to be loud and clear. And as basic as that sounds, that's literally the goal. Can it be loud and be clear? And if you're not loud or clear, you lost. So the mix should feel like it's open. And you should look at the meters and be like, dang, I didn't even know I'm at -8, -7, especially with something like R&B. And to answer your question about the drums, a lot of it is just saturation. Like, I don't do a ton of compression. I've never been a huge compression type of person because I just love transients way too much.
I hear you. Okay.
I love transients. But a lot of times you'll find like the kick and snare is already there, especially if you're in the box. It's just how you gain stage and how you prepare it to hit that final limiter. It's really not rocket science. It's more just like with a song like this, it just seems like you got to get into top-down mixing. It sounds like they just did the mix with nothing on the mix bus and then just bounced it.
Understood.
You can start at a fairly loud level and then mix into it, make your decisions, and then you can get slightly louder after that, or see how much more you can squeeze out of it.
Right, and that's it. Awesome. Thank you. That's great. I see questions on questions. Shout out Kardec. Shout out all the new members. I'm watching y'all. Shout out new members. Shout out Trey Kelly. Shout out Don Michael. Shout out everybody. Shout out B-Way, Austin Morris. A lot of people in here right now. Just enjoying it. Again, just to reiterate, this is sponsored by Natural Audio. Shout out to them for making this possible, making this happen. Of course, like I said before, one of our new members that becomes a member today on this stream, we're going to give you that Natural Audio AL1 limiter for you for free. And then we're also going to give one of our OG members one of the AL1 limiters as well. So let's keep this going. I see new members rolling in. Keep it going. One of you are going to win, and one of you I'm going to push to the front of the line, remember? And that's it. But we're going to go to the next person. That is our member that sent something in. So the song is called Prove. This is from Caleb Jeffries. Let's take a listen to this one. Oh, well, this is the one we just listened to. Sorry about that. Right? It's the one. Let me make sure, because if I skip somebody, they're going to be mad as hell. 1 second. Yes, that was Caleb. Okay, let's go to the next one. So the next song we have is called The Gun. This is from Nitro, The Flash. Nitro said, shout out Nitro. This have my final master. I'm literally reading how y'all wrote it. I'm just making it clear. This have my final master. I'm at work and didn't have it on my phone, but I love the song. All right, no doubt. So let's take a listen to this. We're gonna download Nitro's song, and then that's it. Let's see, make sure.
I thought you were playing it. I thought that was the readout for that song too.
Oh.
I was like, oh, Teezio about to give belt
to.
He about to go crazy.
I used to get the belt growing up, so I ain't scared to lay it down either,
He's
bro.
about
I
to go
used to
crazy.
get that belt. I used to do my homework with the rolling pin. I used to do my homework with the rolling pin next to me. My mom would be like, "No, go ahead."
Oh, what? Oh, it's that's trauma. I ain't gonna lie. Like, what? The rolling pin?
Hell yeah,
That's
that's South
right
America.
there. Yeah.
South American families, bro.
Yeah, facts.
South Americans families, bro. We different.
Okay. All right, shit. All right. So let's take a listen to this. Let's see what we
this
got.
was loud. I see the
let's
wait for him.
Type. My kind of. Oh, somebody said my kind of waveform. Nice brick. All right, let's take a listen. I've been surprised.
Hey, yo.
Yes, I've been surprised. All right, let's take a listen.
Bitch, I'm the gun, the joker that creeps in your heels can squeal, little bitch, you can't run. High like the sun, shawty and thought on the block, and she blood on the spot when I come. Like, feel it get numb, you feel it get dumb. Said that be back and I'm slick with the tongue. Rich cause I'm hung like a horse on a porch, with a force on a porch with a gun. Really, I'm done, really, I'm bigger than pun. Moon in the sun, looming then zoom, I'm a luminous dude, just assume you the motherfuckers fool when I'm done. Make it like Beckham, end of the day, it's okay, I'm a wrecker, I'm reckless. All you little G's on my checklist, I'm the freshest, I can learn you a lesson on who you adjusting in your life as a blessing, bitch, I take you a session. Bitch, here's the truth, no one is safe from my grace. Bitch, I'm the wraith in the place. Bitch, I'm the Gorman Gore. The secret, the legend, the secret, the lore. The secret, the left, cause I cut like a knife. Pleasure the flat, bust on that yak. Bitch, I'm the smoke that go pop when they pass. Yeah.
All right, fellas, and what you hear with that one right there?
Oh
yeah.
I know we just talked about loudness, but yeah, bro, that shit was loud.
Loud.
That shit was dumb loud.
Right.
I got a lot of thoughts.
Uh-huh.
I know we just talked about compression and how I don't like compression usually, but you got to compress those vocals. It just sounded like you just recorded on top of a really loud beat, but you gotta do some compression to make it sit and make it more pleasurable of a listen. But yeah, Teezio, you go. I'll echo what you're saying. I'll follow up. I think you're muted.
Oh.
I was hearing this shit and I was like, why is it all phasey? I fucking went to YouTube and I can hear it fine there. Something's like phasing out on the replay for me and the headphones here.
Oh, interesting.
So something's playing on top. It's like two things playing on top of each other. They're canceling each other out. So I went to the YouTube and I heard it. Shit was loud. We were hitting big numbers.
Right.
I felt like overall it was missing that squeeze. It is a record that demands a lot of energy. And because of that, you have to control it a little bit. I would say that you could get even louder with more compression. Records like that, I've done death metal records and I'm like at -5. You know, like it's just because
I will
you can.
say all -5s are not made alike, bro.
That's a fact.
No.
Some -5s do not feel like -5s.
I'll get to -5 with literally like maximum 2 dBs of limiting on across 3 or 4 limiters, total of 2 dB at -5, because it's the work that I do prior
Yeah.
When it arrives to my master bus, it arrives in a fucking limousine with a bow on top.
Yeah, you gotta dress it up. You gotta dress up those drums.
Super loud. Okay,
a little
cool.
more control.
Right. So just definitely more control on those vocals and just like obviously just kind of rebalancing and stuff like that for sure.
But we're loud.
Right.
But we're loud. And also the style of music like that, like artistically you could be like, no, this is how I want it to sound. So artistically I could see a reasoning in which someone would see it from a different perspective. But
yeah,
overall it was definitely the loudest record we played so far. So
yeah, it was.
Easily.
Right, for sure. Cool. Nitro, thank you for sliding that through. I'm gonna download the next one. So this next record that we have is called Drop a Dime, and this is with Trey Kelly and Just Dion. I believe the artist is our guy Flowman. Shout out Flowman in the building as well. I'm gonna load it up, and let me see what Flowman asked for. Flowman asked us, he said, looking for feedback on overall mix levels, relationships between snare and vocals, and kick and bass. Cool. All right, let's take a listen to this. Sorry about that. One sec.
You crazy. It's been a minute since I've been in it. You like to be on these when I'm finished. This in your camera roll when you send it. Best believe I'm saving that image. Got you crawling from the ground to the ceiling. Let's keep shaking, head boy kissing the wall. Like the bottom of the ninth glass in it. Bass is loaded, I'm knocking shit out the park. We do it so you can't walk, yeah. Beat it to the streets, I'm messy. Like when I talk you through it, yeah. Doing everything you ask me. Every little bit of my love. You get it all if you match me. And you keep that pressure on, it's so nasty. Just know whenever you call, I come on a drop of a dime. Ooh, yeah, oh yeah. It don't take much whenever you call. I come on a drop of a dime. You can just hit my line. It don't take much. Every time you call, I come on a drop of a dime.
Baby, I'm nuts, no matter the time, don't even care. Meet at the drop or go back to the left. Know it's gonna start with me pulling your hair. I have your head to the ground and your feet on the wall with your legs twisted all in your ear. Saying everything that I know you won't hear. I guarantee you she coming right here. Every time you see my car, like a little waterfall. Hit my voice and it's wiping your cortisol. I get in it as tight as a penny, no pinching, I'm sliding, I'm itching it to submission. New position, I'm crashing it like collision with precision, the slightest incision. I make it better with brightest intention. I ain't tryna lead you on, tryna take you home. Be alone, really be in your dome. I'm tryna be a safe space when I'm in your face. Be a place you can move your pace. I don't know better, babe, I'm gon' do wrong. See, I'm tryna learn cause I'm gon' be alone. I ain't never felt another feeling this strong. She be lying home.
But whenever you call, I come on a drop of a dime.
All right, fellas, and what you feel about that one? Let's get him some feedback.
All right, Teezio, go ahead.
All right, so now what I'm doing is I'm muting my audio here and I'm going to YouTube so I can hear it, and it's better now.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Disregard everything I said.
Okay.
Prizzie was probably right about the notes you gave them. We're good.
All good.
Basically what happened was, okay, what I'm hearing is this. Overall, didn't sound bad. There was a couple things. So like for me, I think what I'm seeing, like I can literally see the vocal and already see it. Like I'm seeing some C6 doing this like 4 dB / compression boost on the top, and it cutting a ton of lows and killing a lot of mid-range. But the reason why I felt that maybe he did this is the bass is very messy to the point where the kick almost, sometimes you hear the impact, sometimes it kind of gets lost amongst the low end. There's a couple things that I would say happen with that. A lot of times it comes down to the sound selection. So producers need to be checking how the phase hits amongst the different notes of the bass to make sure that it always impacts the same across the board. That's one thing. Now you may not always have that. So what you can do is sometimes I'll move some of the kicks just to make them hit correctly, or I'll straight up side chain the bass right with the kick so that it just lets it poke through a little bit. But I think the starting point is better sound selection. Mix wise, I said the vocal was just a little bit too wispy, and like maybe some mids would have been helpful, and then some de-essing obviously. But I think that all those S's are coming from some crazy boost happening on a C6 with like some dynamic stuff happening. And then yeah, loudness, it wasn't loud at all, and I felt like I mean, it was like at what, -12, -14? What was the meter showing?
It was showing negative. My
Oh,
integrated.
-7.8.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually not terrible for where it was, but I think that we were definitely, he probably was at the limit, I think, maybe with where he could get. I think that you could definitely get a lot louder with more dynamics. I could definitely get a lot louder with more dynamics, but I think overall it wasn't terrible though. Like I was actually pretty decent. I would say that like you could actually go in there and fix that.
Got you. Type. And you, Prizzie?
Yeah, I have the exact same notes. Like, I'm in my room right now and I'm playing it low just so I don't have like an echo feedback. But even with the bass, like, it's really important that every kick is heard and felt. Like, if you lose that impact, you got to go to that edit window and like figure out what's causing that problem. And that could be a sidechain thing. That could be flipping the phase. That can be a slight nudge. Like, there's so many things you can do, but it has to be a constant like impact down there in the low end. And with the bass, if it's like one of those like swimmy type of bass synths, sometimes you got to control that. Sometimes you got to mono out the lower parts or control it with compression. There's a handful of things you can do, and that can afford you more headroom that way. So you might be at -7.8, but you probably could have gotten to 7.5 and it sounded the same if you bought yourself that low end headroom, which is huge. With the top end, I agree with the same thing what Teezio was saying with the sibilance. I think a lot of people think about like sparkly or bright high end or clean high end. Sometimes that's from an EQ, but really it's just where you place things. Like if you're careful about how you DS things, it can create this like kind of halo over your mix if you place everything perfectly. And then by the time it's mastered, it gets cleaned up even more. So that's when it feels like there's this like glowing kind of thing that you can, well, I usually kind of see the mix when I'm listening to it. But a lot of times when I was like earlier, first starting out, like younger, I thought it was an EQ that did that. But I learned over time that you just got to really, really pay attention to how you treat consonants and sibilants and stuff like that. And where you place hi-hats and snares and the things that kind of set the roof of your mix.
Got you. So I hope that answered all your questions, Flowman. Thank you again for bringing that through. Shout out Just Dion as well as my guy Flowman as well. Obviously, members, you know the vibes. And yeah, let's keep this going. Again, just to reiterate, this is sponsored by Natural Audio. Again, this wouldn't be possible without them. Obviously, just shout out to obviously Teezio and Prizzie just giving us their time and giving you this feedback for all of our members. And again, if you do want to become a member at any time, thehmdcircle.com. One of the newest members today is going to get that AL1 Natural Audio limiter as well. And then one of our OG members is going to get it as well. All right, so let's keep this thing going. Shout out Nomi in the building. Nomi, this kid is Nomi. If you got a song, bro, definitely want to hear it.
Know me.
Please.
Know me.
Type. Okay, cool. So the next person we have is one of our members. Actually, this is one of our OG members too. He actually lets us always know the deals in the Discord. If you look at the channel in our Discord, it's called Jordan Pass Finds the Deals. That's his channel we gave him. He always lets us know about any plugin deals and stuff like that that's happening. So just want to say shout out to Jordan one time. He's on the other side of the pond too. He said, wanted a chance for David Ocean Life Gianni Fields to get his flowers for the mix he did on my track. Ocean is one of our members too, one of our best, like he's incredible, like super incredible mixer. This is the mix file before it was sent off to Ohad for mastering. That's funny. They sent it to Ohad to master. Track is already out. I produced the beat, tracked my own vocals, and wrote the song. Any further feedback would be appreciated. Also helps me when giving further feedback to mixes in the future. Appreciate you both. Like I said, Ohad be in the Discord, and obviously people connect with Ohad and get him to master some of this stuff. So once again, shout out Ohad in the building. I'm not sure if he's still here, but shout out to Ohad as well. Always just like just taking care of the people and stuff like that in the Discord. Let's play the record. So this is before Ohad mastered it, just to be clear, if I'm not mistaken. But nonetheless, let's listen to the record. This is actually mixed by one of our members, Ocean, but Jordan submitted it. Let's take a listen to it right quick. Here we go.
You said that all you wanted was love, but now you wanna take it back. You shouldn't play with my emotions. Why would you ever act like that? You're starting to test my patience. I'm getting tired of waiting for you to go and change your mind. I need you to be sure. Don't waste my time. Cause feelings that I'm feeling for you, they keep fading. Don't waste my time. Don't waste my time. Don't waste my time. Don't make me have to tell my heart out to replace you. Don't waste my time. Don't waste my time. You said it, play me like a fool. You fooled me to thinking you were mine. I'm steady trying to hold on tight while you were simply passing by. You starting to test my patience. I'm getting tired of waiting for you to go and change your mind. I need you to be sure, yeah. Don't waste my time. Cause feelings that I'm feeling for you, they keep fading. Don't waste my time. Don't waste my time. Don't waste.
All right, bet it up, fellas. Let's get him some feedback. What you think about that one?
That was solid.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was
I don't
solid.
have
Okay,
any,
so
like,
this one, look, this one falls into the category of almost there. Like, it's like you left off at a step before getting to the following ones. Basically, you're at -10, right? Drums are too dynamic. The snare is way too loud. It's just overtake. Every time the snare hits, I'm like, oh, it's the snare featuring a guy. You know what I mean? So it's like the snare is too loud. The drums just need to be tightened. And when you tighten those drums, you should be able to get louder. Right now, I know the reason why you got to -10 is because you started to see your limiter starting to move. And it's because you haven't done the gain structure on the drums. They're just like raw, like as if I didn't go through my drum bus and do my compression and do all that. That's what my drums would sound like. They would just be hitting way too hard. But like I said, you're almost there. You're in the place where it's like you're at -10. Your drums are too dynamic. Start to shrink those. Start to get more gain. As you shrink those, you'll notice as you drive in the limiter, you'll actually have more headroom before you even start moving the limiter. But you're on the way. It's on the way.
Right. And what about you, Prizzie?
Same notes. Like it's solid.
Right.
Now you're in dangerous territory where you got to start clipping things, and it gets dangerous there. You can ruin a mix fast, but you got to play that game, and you'll buy yourself honestly a couple dB most likely. Just kind of restructuring where you place things and then how you compress and shave things off. But overall, it sounds good. I got no crazy notes. Right. Like this can go out as is.
Right. Tight. Shout out
with the snare down a little bit.
Turn the snare down and really tighten
up.
Turn that damn snare down. Right, and tighten up those drums. Shout out to Ocean. Ocean, like I said, Ocean really dope. Just he been with us for a long time, been mixing, and people really love him in the Discord. So I know it means a lot for him to get this. He's a nerd and he follows y'all very heavily. So shout out Jordan Pass for making that happen.
Shout out Jordan.
Yeah, shout out Jordan. Real talk. And of course, shout out Ocean. Ocean, that was great. And as always, like they said, it's almost there, bro. And I know that means a lot to you. So shout out Ocean. I know that made his day. Cool. Again, you can become a member, the hmdcircle.com. As you can see, it really is a community, and everybody's here to help each other. And that was really dope. Thank you, Jordan, for that. That was really dope, bro. Cool. Let's go to the next one. Also, great song, Jordan. Love the song, bro. By the way.
Yeah, the song was good. Like,
yeah. All right, so let me download this next one. So this next one is by a person's name is his name is Kevin B. The song is called Till I Can't, and it says, let's see. Cool. This is an R&B song I mixed for my client, Ayana. She plans on release. I'm reading it just as you wrote it. I'm just keeping it a beam with you. She plans on releases it later this spring. I would love feedback on how her vocals sit in the mix with her harmonies and overall where I can improve with mixing female vocals. Say less. All right, so let's load it up and let's see what we got. All right, again, this is one of our members. You can become a member at thehmdcircle.com, and this stream is sponsored by Natural Audio. Let's take a listen.
I've been looking so long for you. I've been looking, and I finally found someone just like the dream, just like my dream. Finally found.
Yeah. I'm feeling enough is
I want you. Why you never pick up the phone? Don't you wanna just call your lover? Slowly you're breaking my heart, and I want the romance, the epic romance, and I want all the flowers. But I know he's got it in him, yeah, nah. That's why I'm still around, why the pain still shows. Told myself I love him till I can't no more. Deep into that promise on my mama's blood. Suddenly he's cold, why you acting cold? Blame it on his woes, but then he froze. Can't look into my soul to keep him from the low. Without me he's so cold. When he looks into my eyes I see him melt away. But right now there's no effect cause he's so far away. Only words that I can give him working partially. But then I'm hurting because he just don't reciprocate. Nah. Feeling enough is enough, but I want you. Why you never pick up the phone?
All right, fellas, talk to me. How you feel about that one, or what you got for it?
Word.
Oh.
Yep.
Yep. There you go. Yep, I hear you.
Okay. So song is good, first and foremost. There's two things that stick out to me that I would like to hear. I would like to hear more S's. It seems like kind of like a lisp happening. And then I got to hear that kick.
Yeah.
Like the song sounds a little too safe. I know I got a little ignorant side of me, so I love heavy kicks, but that's what I want to hear. It's not necessarily turn it up, but just exaggerate it. That could be saturation, that can be lo-fi in Pro Tools, that can be Orion, that could be a handful of things, but I just got to hear more of that kick to just have that impact. But it's a fine line. Like, you don't want to make it a hip hop song per se, but just give it more, you know what I'm saying, have that bounce to it. A lot of that can be done with the kick.
And Teezio, you can hear us, right? Can you hear me right now, T?
Yeah, so I was finishing listening on the
Okay,
thing,
cool. I was
but
making
now
sure.
I'm good.
Okay,
All
I was
right,
making
so
sure.
let me just run it down from the top. This is
Tight.
what I'm hearing.
Okay.
There was actually a section in the second verse or something where it sounded like they was a totally different recording, right? So that's number one. Like, it felt like it just went to like some really muddy microphone, and then it came back to the hook, and it was like a little bit better. It was like the normal vocal. So that's the first thing I noticed that kind of threw me off. But another thing is this: low end was squashed way too much. Like, I was hearing the note of the 808, but I wasn't feeling it at all. So I think there's too much compression down there. Volume wise, for a record like this, we're probably where we want to be, -8ish. We don't want it to be at -6. It's not that type of record. It should, but again, if we're at -8, we should have more dynamic in the low end. That felt like we were at -6 in terms of how squashed the low end was. Vocally, I feel like there were sections where there was like some 400, 300, 400, 500 stuff going on that could have been bring a little more clarity to the vocal. The beginning of the song kind of had me. I was like, okay, this is not sounding too bad. And then when the clap came in, I felt like, and there's certain claps that would hit with the bass, and those were fine. It was like specific ones that happened where the 808 wasn't. They were just way too loud. And that comes from what? The low end doing something too much to the top, to the limiter, and causing the track to breathe. So when the 808 hits, the limiter ducks, the snare ducks with it. Everything sounds low as far as the snare. Then the limiter's not squeezing, and the snare goes back to being loud. So those are things that I can tell just listening to it. Like, there's something going on in the master that's causing that snare to be ducked and not ducked and be way too loud. And at the volume they're at -8, that shouldn't be happening. So there's definitely a couple of things that are probably happening that aren't great in terms of their master.
Right. That's it.
Get you that AL1, big dog.
Get you that
That's
AL1,
the
big dog.
essence.
Get you that AL1, big dog.
AL1,
Always right.
Facts. And yeah, we're gonna play another one, and then after we play this one, I am going to skip the line for one of our newest members. So I do see new members coming in after this next record. I'm gonna skip the line for whoever is becoming a new member today. I'm gonna skip the line for one of you coming up. So just keep that in mind as we go to the next record and stuff like that. So yeah, let's go to this next one. And this one is from, this is one of our very own. Shout out Kardik. Kardik Drums is in the building. Baby Teezio, Estas. I butcher every time Kardik sends a record, and I butcher it. So, yo, Kardik, you know the vibes. Like, you know, I see what you wrote there, brother. Working on this salsa cover of a reggaeton classic, trying to focus on maintaining dynamics, making sure everything cuts through and competitive when it comes to loudness. Say less, my guy.
Okay.
All right, bet. Yeah. So Kardec does a lot of fusion stuff. He does a lot of fusion stuff, which is always pretty interesting. So let's take a listen. All right, cool. He's a producer, and I'm pretty sure he's singing on the record as well. He produced it and sung it. All right, let's take a listen to this.
Estás sentándome y no sé cómo acercarme, decirte lo que siento y presentarme, pero no aguanto más, tengo que conocerte, así que no te pares, solo quiero hablarte, mujer. Zumba. Sentarme, pero no aguanto más, tengo que conocerte, así que no te pares, solo quiero verte, mujer. Yo quiero conocerte, solo quiero satisfacerte, pide más que voy a complacerte, y a moverte, no piensen a quitarte, mami lo tuyo voy a darte, bailame que voy a conquistarte. Una baby fina y elegante, ponte en posición que el gordito quiere amarte. Mami, lo tuyo voy a darte, bailame que voy a conquistarte. Una baby fina y elegante, ponte en posición que el gordito quiere amarte. Estás tentándome y no sé cómo acercarme, decirte lo que siento y presentarme, pero no aguanto más, tengo que conocerte, así que no te pares, solo quiero hablarte, mujer. No sé cómo acercarme.
All right, fellas, and what you hear with that one right there? This is Kardec drums again. What you got for him?
What you got, Priz?
Oh, go ahead first. Go ahead, Teezio.
All right. Oh, shit, this is what I'm hearing. I understand what he was doing. When those percussions came in, that was all perfect, but the vocal started to kind of get ducked underneath. I think that the vocal should sound like they're right in front of you, and the percussion is essentially one step behind them on the sides. That's sort of the feeling that I would want. And I felt like the vocal was like 4 steps back, and the percussion was just in front of the listener. That's the one thing. Also on the vocal, I felt like maybe there was a little too much processing. I feel like with a vocal like this, with a style of music like this, you almost want things to be a little more open, a little less like pop record tight, right? And he did good with the percussion. That was all popping and doing well. I think there could have been some dope mid saturation that could have helped them pop a little more. They felt like they were a little digital. They didn't sound like they were maybe live recorded. I think those were probably like VST type of sounds that we're using. I think when you do stuff like that, it's good to use things to kind of give it a little bit of taste, you know what I mean, and not be so sterile. But the main thing for me was the vocal. I understand with vocals, with records like this, it's not supposed to have a loud kick. It's not supposed to have a giant bottom. It's supposed to have the rhythm of those things. So I wasn't looking for a massive bottom. I think that you're at a great level. -8 is a great level for a record like this, where you don't want to be in that pop world where everything is super squashed. You actually want things to breathe. And I think the vocal wasn't breathing as much for me. And then when the percussions came in, I think that's kind of things started to get drowned out. But don't turn the percussions down, turn the vocals up.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think this song kind of sounds like it's percussion featuring everybody else or everything else, which could be cool. Like the percussion sounds good, so I'm not mad at it, but the song does feel a little kind of exhausting after a while, which it's almost like a pop song in a way. I would like to hear more breathability, like Teezio was saying. Like the vocals should sound live, and I would put myself in the mindset of like, where is this song actually going to be played? And this to me is like a salsa club or something happening at like 3 a.m. at some Latin party after they got done playing Salta Sin Parar or something like that. You know what I mean? Like people are 5 Coronas in and just having a good time. This song got to breathe. It can't just be like this in-your-face thing to make people want to get up and walk out the club. It got to have a certain vibe. I don't want to get too technical because I think this is a more musical thing that I'm hearing. Also, when you squat, when you push everything right in front of you, you realize there's nowhere to go. By the time the hook comes in, it doesn't really feel like the hook. It just feels like, again, like another B section or just a slightly different version of the last section. So I will be very careful with that because it ruins your dynamics, and also you have no room to automate anything up or do anything fun. So -7.9 is fine, but I would probably turn this in even lower, assuming the rough gives you space to do that. If the rough is -7.9, then you got to do what you got to do.
Understood. Cool. So that was Kardec Drums record, of course, one of our members, super talented kid. Hope that made sense to you, Kardec, and we're gonna move on to the next one. Now, what I'm gonna do with this next one is, as promised, I said one of you who becomes a member right now, like a new member, is going to get skipped to the front of the line, and they're gonna win that AL1 limiter, and the winner is. When your button don't work, 1 second, that kill everything, huh? Wait, what the heck? Here we go. Hold on. Come on. Hey! All right, shout out Young J. Shout out Young J. You just won the Natural Audio AL1 limiter free for just becoming a member, and I'm going to skip you to the very front of the line, and Teezio and Prizzie is going to give you feedback right now. Just one of the many things that members get here at Help Me Devon at HMDcircle.com. So, I'm going to push that right to the front. Shout out to you for winning. And, let's get you some feedback, my friend. Bye-bye. All right. So, Anya, make sure you get his information. Let's get his, email as well as his first and last name so that we can make sure that we get him the AL1 limiter from Natural Audio. And, congratulations, my friend. And thank you so much for becoming a member. It really means a lot to what we're building over here with everything. All right, cool. There's also going to be an after party in the Discord, in Studio A in the Discord. So I'm just letting you know, it's going to be an after party in Studio A. Just let you know after this. All right, cool. So this is Young Yay. I think that's how you say it. Sorry if I'm butchering your name, my friend. Let's play the record. Let's see what you asked as well. He asked, just want your thoughts on the mix. Okay, cool. No doubt. All right, so let's take a listen. Let's see what he says. One of our new members. Let's take a listen. Girl, you make it hard for me. Girl, you make it hard for me. Yeah. Shawty, why you dealing with them lame niggas? I can boss you up, hold it down, kick the game to you. I can tell them bitches you be round, really ain't with you. I can tell that nigga, he a clown, he was raised different. Sprouted from that dirt, couple friends and my blood brothers. Swear I really struggle with them niggas for about 4 summers. Old news, she tryna double back, hold up, new number. Swear I might throw away these phones, catch me out of public. I can hit the O, show them how to get that shit jumping. Lane wide open, get consistent, leave your mark on it. Vision blurred, gotta count this money, in my bifocals. Out of town, tied in with the local, get into this motion, yeah. Why you playing games, baby? I just want your love in. Dealing with enough for real, quit all of that for a sin. We could've been goals, you rather listen to your whole friends. They made this shit hard for me. Da 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 da. Girl, you make it hard for me. Da 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 da. Girl, you make it hard for me. I think she fine. Joy giving me hard time. Joy burn the line. Why you want me to hard for me? All right, fellas, get us some feedback. What you think about that one? Let them know. In 1 second, I know he's switching back to the other side.
All right, we in here.
Yep. Type.
So I'm gonna let Teezio kind of break down. I'm pretty sure we're hearing the same thing, but the biggest thing, bro, those drums gotta bounce. Like the whole song.
Let me switch this. Hold on.
These drums, bro. You gotta get the drums right. Reference stuff. Do me a favor. I mean, you could go on iTunes and just buy songs that feel good. Insert them in your Pro Tools session. whatever you got to do, but you need some type of point of reference. Sometimes when you're in this like mixing mode of mixing for 5-6 hours straight, or whatever, especially if you're the type that doesn't take breaks, which please take breaks. But if you don't take breaks, eventually everything starts to sound the same. Just like if you go into like Macy's and smell a bunch of colognes, everything just starts to smell the same, and you need some type of coffee bean to kind of reset your palate. So use references. Use references until it's instinctive to know exactly what you want to come out the speakers.
Got you.
For me, I felt like the main thing that I heard was there was like this nasally boxy frequency in the vocal that was kind of overtaking. It was like somewhere like 800, 900 that was just like a little overdone. And then the same thing that Prizzie said with the drums. Like, I get that there's a style of where it's like that classic old hip hop where it maybe just kind of feels like a track in the back, and like maybe that's a style, but I think there was room to make the track have a little more impact overall and some side information. I know there's like a sample and some stuff on the sides. That would have been nice, but again, this is like, I feel like at that point it's a style thing, because there are records that aren't supposed to bang. They're just supposed to sound like, I don't know, like samples with people rapping over them, basically, like those old hip hop samples that people rap over. So I think there's a world where that may not be totally bad, but I definitely feel like there could be something there if we did that.
Cool. Well, thank you for bringing that through. Shout out to you. Congratulations. Obviously, young YJ, you're the one that won the AL1 natural audio limiter. And then
those drums about to go crazy now.
Facts. Like, there you go. Look, you about to get all you need. Type.
Yes, sir.
And then we're gonna also give this away to one of our members that are currently a member, and we have that person queued up as well. And the person that is going to get the AL1 natural audio limiter as well, one of our OG members or members that already were a member before this stream, is going to be, ironically, thank you, Anya, for making this one happen. And that is, in my button better work, is Nomi. Congratulations. You just won the AL1 natural audio limiter. Shout out to you. Congrats on the whole thing. And you're going to also get feedback from, of course, the legends, Teezio and Prizzie, right now. And that's it. Congratulations, my guy. And let's make this happen now. I know he's very happy. Here we go. All right, so let's bring him to the front. Gonna download this thing, and then I'm gonna read off what he said. One second. Let's get it. All right, cool. So I got his song queued up. This song is called Stock Market Crash. This is actually a song he's brought to us a few times, just kind of like tweaking. So I'm kind of excited to hear it. He said, "There's no way I can't try to get Stock Market Crash without Teezio's feedback. Please tear the mix apart. I'm having a hard time getting the mix to hit with my True Peak limiting added and wondering if I'm coming in too hot, but I feel this record needs hot. I also feel like my vocals are too low and heavy." Before we even play the record, can I ask y'all opinion on True Peak? Like, just because I see a lot of people have been asking that in the chats. I'm paying attention, y'all. People have been bringing up True Peak and stuff like that. What is your thoughts on True Peak? Are you the type person that doesn't care? Are you like, this is how I control it? Like, what's your thoughts on True Peak for you personally?
We actually just spoke about this the other day. I couldn't care less.
If I hear something wrong, then okay.
Gotcha.
But I don't care about you. I never even look at it. I just let mastering deal with it. And if mastering wants to do something, cool. And if they don't, cool. As long as I'm not hearing audible distortion, especially at low volumes where you can really hear audible distortion, then I shouldn't be trying to limit what I'm doing just because of the numbers. We have to use our ears at a certain point. And I think True Peak is just one of those things where it's like, it's too robotic for me. You know, it's like, I shouldn't be following that.
Right. Understood. Right. So in the mixing.
Also, before we start, shout out Nick Bass, Eric Peterson. Also, Nick checked the Asana. Code Red.
All right, bet. Say less. So obviously from a mixer standpoint, they're just, obviously iterating. They care less. It's not something that they look at the numbers and say, oh, well, I'm going to do this, and it become a detriment to their mix. So hope that made sense for everybody that's kind of been asking about that. Shout out Massquake. Me neither, and I mix in Dolby Atmos. That's interesting. Which is a whole nother conversation. Cool. So this is Nomi's record. Let's take a listen to it. And shout out our members, man. Seriously, night. Seriously. I hope y'all having a good time. Let's take a listen to this. Let's get this guy some feedback.
Yeah. Same time. Yeah. Chatty on me. I should call you Patty on me. Out of all the things that you could say, girl, ain't nothing good that you could say. Look at all the time that I threw away. All I ever wanted was a smooth day. Girl, that ain't a heart, no, that's icebox. Wondering why these women in my inbox. I grew up around crackpots and gunshots. That's why you won't catch me with no sunspots. Sorry, nigga, no can do. Too many niggas ain't pull through. Kids, I'm out here raising like the roof. Had to put my dreams on the shelf. You know how many goals I done shell. You know how many ships that done sail. It's cool, cause as a father I ain't fail. I'd rather lose it all than see my sons post bail. I'd rather lose it all than see I'm fighting tooth and nail. Tryna navigate this hell without a father that'll tell about these hard knocks. If I ever told you about these hard knocks, you gon' see a whole lot of tears drop. But I can't be out here catching feels though. Around the age of 5 a nigga had to kill those. Yeah, really a nigga had to kill those. I can't be out here vulnerable like no widow. I gotta push and fight these temptations surrounding me. I got a wife, I got a life, I got 2 jobs to feed. See my whole life, I always picture might go down for me. So don't you come around here messing up my gallery. If she asks me how I'm doing, I'm lying right to her face. But you ask me how I'm doing, I'ma lie right to your face. I gotta tell her all these temptations been pulling on me. Every time we argue, all them temptations is pulling on me. I say let's f*** and you roll over, they been pulling on me. I'm trying to fight it, could you make it easy for me, girl? Cause Shawty got her ass to make the stock market crash. I'm way too invested, might lose everything I have. Listen, I'm a man, I'm a son and I'm a dad. I fight to get my kids all the things I never had. But Shawty got her ass to make the stock market crash. God don't let her tempt me, I was out here doing bad. Some gon' have to change, girl, that's all a nigga is. It's that type of stuff that drive a same man mad.
And that's Know Me. What y'all guys think about that? Let's get him some feedback. I'm waiting for them to they unmute. Yep. Word.
Yeah, I mean, it sounded good. Teezio, go ahead.
Who, me?
You.
Who, me?
All right, fucking snare is snare's harsh and loud. I feel like you're at what we got to -8.
Yeah, we got integrated. Mm-hmm.
So I think for how loud it is, the track was pretty dynamic, which is a positive thing. Meaning like you could push a little more and get a little more volume out of it. But definitely I feel like the snare was just too loud and the vocals could have just there was a lot of harshness in the S's in some places that I would have gotten, especially in the first 2 lines. There's like an S in it and it's a little bit harsh. But yeah, that most of that was, other than that though, it was actually pretty solid. Other than those couple things, I think.
Yeah, I think it was pretty solid. I don't know if it was my system, but I was hearing some distortion.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Distortion too, yeah.
Yeah, I was hearing a good bit of distortion, which for this genre, you can get away with it, to be honest, but I don't know if you made that decision intentionally, saying like, oh, I hear distortion, but it still feels good, or if this is something that is throughout all of your mixes. So I would say be careful with that. But other than that, yeah, the snare was a little loud to me. Again, like, you got to do that loud listen before you finish the song. Just turn it up on headphones, turn it up somewhere, and say like, does this shit hurt? You know, and this is one of those songs that when you turn it up, it's gonna hurt. But then you also got to think about, where is this gonna be played? It's supposed to be played in a club or somewhere loud, so you might lose half of your audience if you're not, you know, cognizant of that type of stuff. But other than that, it's jamming.
Type. Shout out Know Me. Love that record, man. Seriously, he's brought it a few times, just kind of tweaking. Know Me, I don't know, is that out yet by any chance? And his one thing I will say, and I was gonna bring that up, Know Me, he said his distortion was intentional. This is actually something I brought up to him a while back too, when he, like, during his early iterations of it, I was like, hey, it's distorted. He was like, I did it on purpose, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna leave you alone on it then, and that's it. But it is, you see with the reaction you get, where people may think it's like, oh, it's like not a detriment, but it's like, oh, I'm hearing I don't want to say problem, but that's what it stands out and catches the attention of some people with as well. So just something to keep in mind.
It was digital. It was digital clipping that was happening, and it wasn't consistent. Like if it was consistent, I'd be like, okay, it's very, very obvious that it's meant to be there. But when it happens periodically, when it just gets to that one note, it's usually that the digital clipping that's happening somewhere, and you're just your low end and your mid range and all those things are starting to get too much and basically overwhelm whatever plugin and causes it to spit out digital distortion.
Understood. So Nomi, I hope that made sense. And yeah, love the record, Nomi. Thanks for bringing it by. Thanks for all the members that Gucci Spike 9000. I don't know what y'all making, but thank you everybody that brought that in and brought their records and stuff like that. Shout out, obviously, ones in the chat, over almost 300 people on all platforms altogether. I want you to drop some ones in the chat for Teezio and Prizzie, please, one time. Please, one time. Make sure that you follow them on Instagram. Obviously, we're going to have clips of this going up and stuff like that. Also, obviously, again, shout out to Natural Audio for making this possible. I hope that we can do more in the future, especially stuff like this. This would be awesome to continue to do. And yeah, shout out to everybody that became a member today. Shout out to people that have been a member for a long time. Ones in the chat for Teezio and Prizzie. There we go. Go crazy. Go crazy.
The ones, baby.
Ones. Please. They gave you their time. Really appreciate this. And again, to my two guys, just really appreciate you just doing this for my members and stuff like that. It really means a lot to me. It's something that I'm trying to do here and try to get try to find a way to bridge the gap with the members to be able to get advice from people that are actually doing this, on a day-to-day and stuff like that. And just, I'm trying to do more of these and connect them with y'all and stuff like that. So thank you so much, like, for real. Like, just want to say. Yeah.
Yo, Dev, can I give one small shout out?
Please.
I want to shout out everybody at Natural Audio. They've been doing an amazing job just making their community and getting this thing to the people. I would say everybody in the chat, please do me a favor. Try it out. Try out that AO1, I promise you. Like, just try it. A lot of our notes have been with drums and things not sounding open. That can solve a big part of that. So go to natural.audio, try it out. Let us know what you think. DM me, like, I'm an open book. So hit me on IG, hit me. We'll talk. We could chop it up. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. But it's a very much community-based plugin that was built. It's by the people and for the people. So try it out. Let us know.
Type. And I'm going to put their Instagrams up. So this is Prizzie's Instagram right here, and I'm going to bring Teezio's up. So obviously right there, just please make sure you grab it, screenshot it right quick. Everybody can screenshot that so you can see my guy's IG. Boom, boom, boom. And then obviously let's get my guy Teezio's up here as well. Right here. You can follow Teezio as well right here. Just make sure you follow the guys, and that's it. Again, thank y'all so much for being here. One time again, thank you Teezio, thank you Prizzie, thank you Natural Audio, thank you all the people at Natural Audio for making this happen. W stream. I mean, I don't know what else you want, but that's great, and I had a good time. Also Discord, we're having an after party in the Discord, Studio A. So right now, everybody in the Discord, you can head on over to Studio A for the after party. I'm gonna actually put the link in here, right here. 1 second, put this here. After party.
Wait, y'all got studios in the Discord?
Yo, T, we be just chilling, bro. People go live in the Discord. They be cooking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, bro.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Anya. We can smoke up in there.
You can smoke in the studio. Yo, we smoking in Studio A in the Discord. We smoking. We can. It's a private stream, so now that's perfect. So we can do that over there. Exactly. Okay. Again, obviously, guys, thank you so much for being here. It means a lot to myself, the members, and everybody. And that's it. And yeah, I hope we can do more later. We got some more content between all of us coming hopefully soon, when schedules finally, make sense and stuff. But yeah, fellas, thank you so much for being here. Natural Audio, shout out to y'all. Again, I put the link to Natural Audio right here in the chat. So make sure that y'all go to the website and check them out, natural.audio, and enjoy yourself. Thank you so much to our winners. And yeah, we're out of here, y'all. Until next time. After party in the Studio A. I'll see you out here. I see people filling up. All right, fellas.
You guys.
All right.
All right, everybody. Peace.
Peace.